Hi, long time no see. How are you?
It is 2 weeks already.
It is?
Yes.
Time flies by.
Yes. I'm doing very well. How are you?
Me too. Same here. So happy to be back in the studio with you.
The studio of good games.
Yes, studio of good games. Yeah, that's a good name. So, what do you think? Good games. This topic is very interesting. I mean, since the last time we had the video, we had the last episode. When I was watching the video with you together, I felt again like this is a very interesting topic. What do you think?
Yes, it is. It is very interesting, and the philosophies, ways of individuals that are going to be invited to our podcast, including us as a host. So by watching that with you last time, I can see, someone can learn something from this video.
True.
That is what I think about this podcast.
True.
Now to the future. So yeah, good game of everyone.
Yeah, true. That's true. So, as I understand, one of the things, like a theme within this topic, is about fear, or fear of failure. I should say failure. I think is better way to describe that, because what do you think? As I understand, that's kind of opening from the last. Or let's say a transition from the last episode.
That's true, because last time, as I remember, we talked so many things on first regrets, wrong decisions. Recall me if I'm wrong, okay?
It is true.
And then what else we talk about
the
last episode?
Regret, wrong decision were two things, and then how about
education
lives, and something like what we plan for the future.
Yes.
How to say. If it's not just about the past, it's also something about the
future. And also we mentioned last time, we talked about good games is not one time in lifetime.
Yes.
So when we were a child, when we are in mid-age, youth, until now and to the future, that's why we mentioned good games actually.
True.
Several things or fightings about the life from last podcast.
True.
But I think to continue the last week topic of conversation and podcast, I think let's talk about something else that maybe is also it's interesting to everybody to talk about, which is you mentioned before is failure.
What do you think about that?
Failure is a simple word, but
is.
Let's define what is failure. Everybody has their own definition about failures. Everybody has their opinions or facts or even experience about failures.
True.
Right? So to my extent of knowledge, not really like extent knowledge, it's short knowledge, I think failures is about, from my experience, too high expectations without doing something to achieve that expectation.
That's a really that's a definite failure, right? If you don't do anything to achieve what you want, you probably will fail.
Yeah, so the failure is actually, to me, to my definition, is the consequences of too high expectations without doing too high efforts to achieve these expectations.
Inaction, non-action, there's no action taken.
No action taken. So I'm expecting myself to be, let's say, a student in a very prestigious university in the world, but I'm not doing anything. I'm sleeping, I'm playing games, I did nothing.
Yes.
Right? So that's my definition about failures.
True.
Right? So also from the history of philosophers.
Yes.
Right? Philosophers like Stoicism, Seneca, one of the greatest ideas of Seneca it is we can avoid things that we cannot control.
True.
So what is the failure, do you think, from the Stoicism perspectives, right? Which is, let's say, to be defeated is part of the life. To be defeated, right? We need that. To be failed, right? We need to experience to be defeated.
True.
To be the very bottom and down life stage.
True. It is.
from the Stoicism things.
True. I mean, Seneca basically says, don't indulge in things that are out of your control, right? So, but by saying this, what actually, I think what he really refers to is not the indulgence with the outside, it's more about indulgence with the inside, which is says like, I mean, yeah, don't worry about external, but do whatever you can about the internal.
Yeah.
I think that's a very important point that
So,
you're making.
From the Stoicism, we can learn that failures, we can define, by bringing up the idea of Seneca, we can say, failure is part of the life. Take it. But from failure, we can learn. Too high expectation is not good, because from experience of failed will teach you a lot.
True.
Right?
True. I think one thing that comes to my mind when you say this is also about, for example, it's a very common thing when people fail, they find excuses most of the time on the outside, right? Oh, it's because of my family. Oh, it's because of the economy. It's because of Trump. Like they always find
Trump.
They always find something outside. But actually, from a Stoic perspective, these are not failures at all. Actually, because there's not even topics, subjects matter for you.
Yes.
Failure is about your own internal achievements or non-achievements.
Yes.
And failure should be, again, it's not about your family. It's not about your, outside the environment. It's about your own fight, your own challenges, your own achievements.
So that's why this kind of very simple question and philosophical questions, like recalling me again, like how can I connect my good game? Like I know I want to recall my past about failures and things with this good game team. So let's say, again, we need to redirect our last time conversation about the good game to recall everybody that in the future we will invite more people to come. So we need to have a good game definitions, of course, right?
True.
So to my opinion, I think game, like real game, we have players, we have rules, right? We have opponents, we have achievements, we have, obstacles.
True.
We have equipments, we have many things.
True.
So I think again, to define the good game is how to balance all these things.
True. How to make use of them, some of them.
How to balance all these things, right? How to balance the player resources, power.
True.
How to manage the weaknesses to achieve the thing.
True.
Understand yourselves. Otherwise, failures will always come again and again and again and again and again and again.
True.
What do you think?
I agree. I think if a person doesn't really make a good, an accounting of his weaknesses, it's pretty much like a SWOT analysis, right? Like your opportunities, your weakness, your strength, the threats. I think for someone to be successful in any endeavor, a business endeavor or education, academic endeavor, anyone should start with first an accounting of what you have, what are the things that are missing, what are the benefits that you have, like what are the things that you're good at, what are the things you're not that good at,
Absolutely.
What are the things that you can do very easily and achieve very fast results, very good results, and what are the things that you will have face trouble likely. So if you don't know these, first of all, it is likely that you will fail, but more than that, when you fail, you probably also won't learn a lesson. You won't really get up better. But if you have those, for example, with a very personal and very practical example, for example, I have trouble in continuing focused work to complete a project, which is actually a recipe for failure. Especially in any endeavor, but especially in academic endeavor.
Yes,
you need to be persist and until completion, until delivery of
mission
accomplished. Correct. If you don't have that, It's very difficult. You will have difficulty.
How? Of course.
How? So that's me. But this is something that I know about myself. That's why I can take precautions.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I can. Yeah. That's why I can kind of make sure that because you need to be very stupid knowingly like fall into a hole.
True,
like if you know that this is your weakness, you need to be kind of prepared.
So I underline one word that can prevent failures, which is precautions.
All right. So you can prevent failure. What you mean is it? Like
Yes.
if you have the right precaution, actually failure can be prevented.
So, to me, myself, I think the precautions is very important to myself. I like black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my good game story, like I was telling the story about I was from the farmer families and so on, blah blah blah. To me, I always prepared for the worst
Outcome.
consequences.
Yes. Yeah.
Me myself. So in order okay, I plan to be a professor. But when it comes to me I will become an office workers,
Yeah.
or even not an office workers, or even unemployed, I'm prepared for that.
Which is interesting, right? Because it's not easy, in my opinion.
Not easy. So I think when we have a good precautions, we will have a good way of acceptance. Acceptance means the reality or the consequences post failures.
You're prepared for it.
How we can accept the failure, or we reject the failure. If we keep rejecting the failure, like denying the failure, no. We persist says, no, my decisions is right. Wait some more, right? You're absolutely away from the right decision, but you keep saying, oh, no. I'm eager to say, no, this is the right decision.
What are you saying? Like one can accept the failure and still needs to persist, not just deny failure and just go blindly in it. So I mean, I think if I'm not wrong, I'm kind of understanding that this acceptance is also a point, is an important thing. So the acceptance of I failed. Then what? Now what I should do? Right? Kind of like acceptance of the failure.
Yeah. So
it's not really. Sorry, it's not really also giving up, or it's not really.
It is not.
I would say, I accept failure, so I just give up.
It is not give up.
You stand up.
Acceptance is not give up. I need to accept the reality first, in order to be real.
True.
If I keep saying no, this is wrong, something's wrong, I kind of, let's say, stubbornness.
Yeah. You need
Things
to
like this.
You need to persist. Like you need to kind of continue.
But in a way of when we accept things about the failures, consequences happens to ourselves. When we accept that, I think we are in a not peaceful, but we can find a way to solve the things.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I think that's very important. It's very important.
Right?
True. So if that's the case, for example, in your opinion, I'm asking as your personal experience or as a professor who've been consulting students, who've been together with students, what kind of, real examples can you think of are there?
I became professor in our department of marketing and logistics management. I look behind because
it's a long name.
I'm scared of
saying
it wrong.
It's all on record.
Yes, I said it correctly. No. So, to my experience, 6 months, I have a little failure. To my awareness, okay?
You mean you personally?
In my personally speaking, I have this much of expectations at first when I want to teach the students in my class. This much expectation. This expectation is from me to me and to the students.
You have expectations towards yourself and also towards your students.
True. to myself, I expect that, okay, I can give a very good materials, fresh materials, and give a good understanding to the students. But again, my class is English.
Oh, true. It's kind of difficult, right?
And then the students'
English level is...
proficiency in English is, let's say, not the best of the native speakers, but...
They're doing their best.
Me trying my best.
None of us are native English speakers.
That's true. So my expectation is here before I open the door of the class. So in my mind, I said, oh, I should teach like I taught in Indonesia. I need to use the Socratic dialogue.
Oh.
Socratic dialogue in teaching, meaning questioning and unstable the student's mind of something all the time. But again, in order to be success in dialogue, you need two-way communications.
True.
Which is a little bit not so successful because the reciprocity of communication start with speaking.
True.
So kind of when I say something in verbal, they kind of respond me in written.
Yes.
By Google translating
Correct.
my thing. So the class is not so fluent and not that I expecting.
Yeah.
Will it be called as failure?
I don't think so.
To me it
I don't
is.
think so. You think?
To me it is. Because again, as my definition, it's too high expectations.
And you weren't prepared for it. You didn't have precautions.
Yes. The precautions not really well prepared and many things are not well prepared. So that is one of my small failures. I think small failures will affect a big thing.
But I mean, I know personally that from that you learned a lot, and that class actually became a very popular class, and a lot of students.
Really?
I think so.
Yeah. I hope so.
I think it is between us.
Between us. No.
Yeah, you learned a lesson from that.
I learned a lesson. That's what I meant. The accepting the situation where, well, it's true, the students are not really proficient or fluent in English. Me, at the same time, I'm not so fluent in speaking Mandarin verbally and passively. So that's the reality. That's why the class is going on almost 1 year right now. And still, from the last semester to this semester, students still take some of them, most of them still take my class.
Which proves a point, I guess.
That's why I low down my expectations.
They are happier. You are happier when the expectations are low.
It's true.
Well, you know what's that saying? Like, if you want to be frustrated, have high expectations.
Yeah, but frustration makes you worse.
That's also true.
Because you need to find solutions.
Find a solution. Yeah, true. I agree.
How about Daryl also?
I mean, my probably a similar failure example from that definition we had is again, I think, is about having high expectations. For me, I'm laughing at it because actually it's funny, it's stupid, which is I don't know where did I see this. There's a quote very similar related to this. It says most people, they are overestimating what they can do in a day, but they underestimate what they can do in a year.
Okay.
Which is pretty much it is a good quote. I really like that because if you think about it, that's true. Most people they think, oh, they're gonna just focus, sit down, and they're gonna finish all the work, all the homework, everything in one day. When I was a student, I used to not sleep, like study overnight, and I'm just ready for the final exam for the tomorrow's. But that's a mistake, right? Like that's a very unrealistic expectation.
Okay.
It doesn't work like that. But it's interesting enough, especially while like us, like we're having so many things on our plate at the same time, doing so many different things at the same time. Slowly I realized that actually I'm really having high expectations for the time and efficiency I can provide. Like, I mean, when I like to make plans. Pretty much, I know that you do too. Like, I mean, I have a 5-year plan, a year plan, 6 months, 3 months, a month, a week, a day. Like, I mean, it breaks down, which is very easy actually. In 5 years, I wanna become this. To be able to do that in 1 year, this year, I have to do this. To be able to do this much in 1 year, in 6 months or 3 months, in 1 month, I kind of have that. It goes from a very broad picture goes to a very minute, not to say detail. But basically, for example, as you know, we have like let's publish at least a paper a month, right? That's not bad, right? But to be able to do that,
that's the expectation.
Well, let me come in. I mean, one paper a month, which is way above most academics' performance.
Yes.
But to be able to do that, this means that you need to do this much of work, or at least this amount of progress in a week. To be able to do this amount of progress in a week, you need to do this amount of progress in a day.
In a day. In an hour.
In an hour.
Okay.
I noticed, very surprisingly to myself, I don't have time. Like, I mean, my expectation is too unrealistic. I need a 40-hour day to be able to
accomplish the goal.
Not because I'm lazy. It's just because, like, the arithmetics, the mathematics doesn't count. Like, I mean, you have only this amount of hour available, included
everything
in your
inside.
hands.
Yes.
So, this is a failure. This is a failure because there's an unrealistic expectation of what can be done, what you can do, and then, but again, at the same time, did I learn a lesson? I learned a lesson. My lesson now is that I know that efficiency also is an issue. I mean, we're not machines that are putting on bottle caps.
People are not. Live by manual.
Exactly.
Right.
So, like, which means that I kind of understand that. Oh, wait. So, a paper a month. Well, it is achievable. I know you have way above that.
No.
But I mean, it is doable. It is possible.
All right.
Is it kind of too ambitious? Maybe some might call it. Some might say, even if it's an ambitious, at least you need to know your weakness, the threats that you have, your SWOT. Like, I mean, how much time you have, like how much energy you have, how efficient you are in writing, how efficient you are in doing the data analysis, or how efficient or how much availability you have to read the paper.
Skill.
Yeah, it's a skill, right?
Skill thing.
You need to assess yourself, like accountability. Like, you need to know what can you really achieve, and how much of an extension, the flexibility you have in that. If it's too much, you'll most likely fail. If it is acceptable level, and you push a little bit, obviously, if you want to grow, you kind of need to a little extend yourself. That's what I got.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. One of the philosophers from Greek philosophers, which is, let me remember his name, but Aristotle.
Okay.
So Aristotle ideas like virtuous, right? To be virtuous. In his teaching also say something about these kind of failures we can connect. Like, in order to be virtuous, you need to be first honest, right?
First virtue.
Yes, honest, and value your society, social norms, and so on. Let's say from these two things, I think I can learn from Aristotle where to be virtuous to myself at least, sometimes by referring to my definitions, expectations will lead to failures and not good consequences. Let's say I'm not honest to myself.
How so? How come?
Well, I met one friend before went to school this morning. He just mentioned to me, "Oh, I came to the doctor yesterday, and this is my blood test. Everything is here, blah, 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 sugar, blah, blah, blah." And then he said to me, "Brother, be careful about your health."
Okay.
We are the same age, but this is my things.
Okay.
Okay. I mean,
he's bad, in a bad condition, or
not really bad conditions, but at that age, I think it's not good.
For 28-year-old.
28, 29, things, something like that. My point is, sometimes we are not too honest or not honest with ourselves. What is our capability? How much we can do? When it compares to the expectations we desire to achieve.
Yeah.
So that's my point of view, where the virtuous person will start by himself, where he can honest to himself about everything.
I know
at least. For example, okay, goal. I'm a goal-oriented person, and you know that. I mean, every month I always have a news, okay, publish one. But to my extent of energy and everything, that's all the best I can do. If you force me to do more, that's your expectations, not mine.
You know your ability, you know your,
Yes.
how to say,
Yes.
line of...
True. So we can learn from Aristotle, where be honest to yourselves.
That's a good point. That's interesting.
Because when you honest to yourself, it's not your expectations anymore. It's other people's expectations to you now.
Be honest to yourself and accept that your expectations and other people's expectations
Yes.
are going to be different.
Yes,
and
then
don't waste your time
True.
through other people's
True.
lens of expectations.
So maybe through these things, the definitions of failure can be changed.
Interesting.
So when I honest to myself, that means, okay, I don't have to live myself based on the manual every day and do this. So live by yourself, right? Like at least have a direction.
True.
Not a too much or too high goals to
True.
achieve.
I know what you mean. Yeah, that's interesting.
But in this modern era or in this society today, it's kind of difficult.
Difficult, right?
What do you think?
I think so too. It's difficult because, I mean, as you know, social media is a
Social media already is not honest.
correct, right? Like, I mean, this is something we do research about. It's something we teach about. I mean, don't you think? Like, I mean, social media is giving so many unrealistic expectations about so many things. Do you agree with that? I mean, are you one of the people who blames social media for everything or not?
Let's say, okay, the structure of our society today makes us think social media is not real. I mean, it's not reality. It's not true. It's fake. Why? Let's say populations-wise, okay, our students' populations now in Indonesia, aged between 18 to 30, are dominating this social media usage, which is, you know, they are, okay, I'm not blaming those who are influencers. They did a good job. But real users of social media, do you think they post it for themselves or for other people? Do you think they post it to let other people, okay, this is what we are doing. This is what we're on something. This is what we are things like this. To me, I don't think that's real. Because we want to show to everybody else's. So that's why in some of, maybe we are different arguments with this, but to me, social media is more to business things. It's not for private and honesty things.
No, I would agree with that. I'm not totally against the idea. Yeah, I think no, but I was more referring to the fact that, like, I mean, either it's fake or real. You see something on social media, some model, some kind of like, oh, so there's this kind of people, they're living this kind of a lifestyle, or whether it's real or not, whether it's for a business purpose or a personal benefit, whatever, it's not my point. But my point is, people are consuming this. And from that consumption, they might get some kind of expectations or some kind of frustrations, thinking that, oh, how come these people are having such an amazing life while I'm just such a big loser and not having everything. Well, I mean, this is a deep topic. Let's keep it to.
Let's talk. That's social media emptiness.
Emptiness. Yeah,
emptiness.
This we can give it a whole episode on that.
Next episode.
Okay. But I mean, basically, I think that's one thing. I mean, you need to be kind of realistic and be more honest with yourself. And this might also mean that you need to have a good sense of, how to say, filtering.
All right.
Right? Like to say, wait, well, that's me. This is who I am. These are the things I have. I can do. These are my abilities. And that is somebody else. What they have, what the challenges they're facing or the opportunities that they have might not be like mine. And there's no point in really comparing myself to them. And thus, there's no point in also having similar expectations or about myself with other people.
It's true. But again, to my extent of opinions, I would say, since the algorithm already capitalizing all these things, so no, to me it's very difficult to me to digest that. It's difficult not to put high expectations when you use social media.
I know what you mean. True.
Right?
True.
When you open IG, for example, well, you didn't follow anyone. Your followers is 0. You follow is 0. But your feeds
is full.
Always keep giving you. That means the algorithm already capitalizing the users.
True. Correct.
Like feeding.
If something is free, right? If something is free,
right,
then you are the product.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a good definition. We are the product. Not the market anymore. We are the product.
Correct. Agreed.
Right?
True.
So how about this? How do you see the failure of those generations who actively, like let's not say actively, but spend most life in social media? Do you see the failure of them, or do you see the failures in people?
Again, I think how they see themselves, whether failure is the right question more than how do I look at them? Because by definition, we said it's your internal setting, your own. If that's what you want for your life, to spend 16 hours in a day scrolling to your feed, and maybe if you are really getting something from it, like real value, it's possible, maybe you're really having such a great time doing that. Well, I wouldn't say it's a failure. But at the same time, what I would say is this: if you want to build a business, if you want to, achieve something, health, we mentioned, like if you want to get fit and be healthy, and still, instead of doing exercise or instead of putting in the work and effort, and instead of doing all those, and you're watching videos on Instagram to teach you how to do those things, well, I think that might be a failure because you're not taking the required necessary action. Right. From the very beginning, we made a full circle back. If you're not taking the action for your goals, then you're failing.
Because I can see from our good game definition, we'll say, and I will connect from Seneca and Aristotle, come back again. Like, one of the good game elements is the rule, right? Rule in real life, we can revert to like social values, social norm, social standard, individual standards, value, and so many things. So if we connect this to the idea of Aristotle and Seneca, let's say, the social norm, according to the virtuous ideas by Aristotle, that means you need to follow sort of things, social value and norms in order to be virtuous.
True.
I mean, first step, you honest to yourself. But the second, you need to be also let's say, fits with the social value and norms.
True.
Right?
Agreed.
So the failure in a good game of this rule will be more heavy.
True.
So we connect the idea with the social media. Well, we can bring this into how we define the social value now.
True.
How we define the social norm now from these kind of perspectives. So the failure will come from that definitions later
True.
on.
True.
To my opinion, right? What do you think? I think
Agreed. Yeah.
that's even deeper. So my point is, if you play social media like 10 hours without getting any benefits, if the benefits is the social values and norms, then you didn't get anything. That means you are violating the social value and norms.
Correct.
That means you're not the virtuous person.
It is. Yeah. True.
Right? What do you think about that idea?
Yeah, I think so. I agree. First of all, because you're not being honest. I mean, that's a very, very first, the thing we mentioned about Aristotle. It's well, if you're not virtuous, if you're not honest, well, you're not honest to yourself. I mean, everything starts within. Everything starts from within. I mean, if you don't give yourself value, if you're not honest towards yourself, if you're not, if you're not treating yourself, if you're not loving yourself, right? I mean, any of these verbs, you cannot do it towards other people. You cannot love anybody else. You cannot trust anybody else because you don't trust yourself at first. If you're not trusting your own self, how are you going to trust somebody else?
So you're saying this is the foundation things for yourselves.
Correct.
Okay.
It's very Stoic.
To be virtuous. Okay.
Yes, and it is very Stoic also.
All right.
I mean, I put all the blame and everything on the self, to myself. I should first be responsible for my own self. I should first be honest towards myself. I should first be disciplined for myself. I know the way you teach and the way you do research, and I think one thing that we're very similar is also about this. For example, all my students, they know the things that I talk in the class, the things that I'm teaching in the class, are all, definitely all of them, 100%, are also the things that I'm doing myself. If I'm asking for you to do something, if I'm saying, let's talk about social media, they're all taking my social media class, and I say, well guys, if you want to be successful in social media, you have to have consistency in posting. Like you have to have a consistent posting schedule. So you need to have a plan of when you're going to post, what you're going to post. I'm not just saying it. I have it.
You're doing it.
I'm doing it.
You're doing
I
it.
have that in my own social media. I'm not just, telling something, but I'm also showing something that I'm doing it like this. So maybe you can try doing that. That's something similar. It starts from your own self. I always think like a teacher's job is, as a professor or in any level, elementary school to university, teacher's job is in a way to be the model. And yes, not every model fits everybody. You don't have to be me, you don't have to copy me, but at least you need to be able to see that it is possible, doable, because somebody is doing it in front of your eyes. You might learn from my mistakes. Maybe you know better than I do. Possible. I'm not saying my method is the best method, but at least it's a method that I know that it works for me. You make it better. That's how development is done. That's how we improve. Obviously, we all expect our students to be even better than us. Yes. They don't even know it.
That is a good teacher.
Correct, that's a good teacher. That's why I kind of believe that we have a very common approach in this. Very soon, just before they graduate, I actually start to call my students as like colleagues.
Oh, okay.
Because very soon you will be graduating and we will be, having the same title, right? So
society.
Yeah, well, you will be a member of the society. I will be the older member of the society, but we will be sharing kind of the same title and position. So for me, you're not that student anymore. Maybe I should learn from you. Today we try to learn new technologies that I'm not really familiar, like the recording of the video and the voice sound. Right? These technologies weren't available while I was starting to do this. So, and who is helping me? Who is the person, our assistant is helping us.
Give the credits to Shren.
Correct. She, without knowing, is actually teaching us things. I don't know how to use
She's
these.
better than us.
Correct. So that's kind of the point, right? That is something. Andre, I think we're about time. This was a nice topic. Again, we just touched the surface. I know that we left so many things like untouched. Well, I mean, we have time. Next time
we have time.
Today it was very nice to have you.
We talk a lot. We talk
ideas.
Fruitful also.
It was.
It has value.
We in this podcast we have this this concept of learning each other's good game.
Yes.
We are still talking about our good game in some ways.
Or the good game rules.
Or the good game
or
rules.
Good game elements.
Elements.
So before we inviting the guests, we need to see what is the rule,
True.
what is the blah blah blah, and so on. We can connect this and resonate to the audience later how they achieve their good games.
Correct.
What do you think, Lars?
I totally agree, and I'm looking very much forward for the our guests to come. We're already arranging, and I'm looking forward to learn from their experiences about how they do, they were able to achieve. Today's topic was failure. How did they fail, and how did they continue?
Does their failure is fun too?
Correct. Let's see how's that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Guys. See you guys.